The cultural Marxists have done with other artists who appeal to conservatives like Jason Aldean or the producers of Sound of Freedom. Forces on the left are trying to cancel Oliver Anthony through smears because of his YouTube playlist now. Now, this is going to backfire just as it has before, because we're on to their tiresome and desperate game. Now, someone who is not tiresome and desperate is actor and comedian Rob Schneider. He's also the star of Woke Up in America, available exclusively right now on foxnation.com. It is hilarious. Rob, well, I don't want to introduce you with desperate, desperate, and that is just horrible and tedious. No, that's not what you are.
Thank you. Look, first of all, if I may correct your little news program, Laura, let me just talk about when Biden in Hawaii with the, when they're honoring the victims of the fire, he was not sleeping. He was taking a prayer nap, praying for the victims. Obviously, it's very obvious. He was praying for them. You could tell mid-sleep. He did that every once in a while. And first of all, I know people complained it's $113 billion for Ukraine and $700 per Maui citizen. Well, let me just tell you, you've been to Hawaii. I've been to Hawaii. We know how inexpensive everything is over there. You have to ship everything in. $700 goes a long way. You can buy
water,
a carton of milk, 6 eggs, 4 eggs, 1 flip-flop. It's going to help a lot.
Rob, when you see the reaction to this, kind of a hillbilly guy doing this song, bare bones production, just catches on. It's a cultural moment. What's your reaction to how the left responds to this? Starting digging up his YouTube playlist.
He used to root for the underdog. And now it's like, you have a guy who came out of nowhere and a guy that has nothing and that, and all of a sudden to try to destroy him or try to take that down as some kind of right wing. It's an ugly hit. It really is an ugly place to come from. But it doesn't surprise me because I do think it's very interesting that the Democrats now seem to be the censorship party, the warmongering party, and the Biden administration, they want to control, how you cook, what car you drive now, what AC, what air conditioning you're going to have. So, I don't know what kind of lube you can use, but eventually, why shouldn't they control? They censor you. If you say something the tech companies don't want you to say on social media, you're out. So why shouldn't they try to control what you can hear and listen to, and what you get to watch, and what you get to enjoy? And then if it's something outside of what the liberal intelligentsia wants you to watch, well, then we're going to have to undermine it or destroy it. But like you said, it's not going to work. I think the people are going to watch what they want to watch. And I think you can try to cajole people all you want. But at the end of the day, if it speaks to you, like this song does, people are going to, they're going to come around because if it makes money, because that's the one thing that they won't ignore in Hollywood, if it makes money. If it makes money, then they'll kind of come around very quickly. You'll see 4 or 5 of those guys in the next couple of months. Beards and red hair, the whole deal.
Well, imagine if he had had a different anthem, let's say he was singing about a transition of sorts. That would have been a moment where he would have had, the whole crowd.
He would be, he would be everywhere,
would be
all
in
over
on it.
He'd be on all the late night talk shows.
Right.
And it's nice because the late night talk shows, you can actually take the jokes from each of them and replace them. That's the thing that's so amazing to me. So I do think you're right, though. But people have spoken, and people are going to watch what they want to watch. The idea that you can control everything is what they want to do is destroy everything that they don't agree with and start over in this imagined utopia that doesn't exist. And you know how well the imagined utopias work out. Just ask Chairman Mao or Comrade Stalin. So I think it's going to fall flat, hopefully soon. But people are going to want to watch what they want to watch, and that's going to wherever they can get it. And I hope that that people continue to support independent artists who have a voice and are saying something that resonates with them.
Well, actress Jennifer Aniston, I don't know what her politics is, but she's pushing back on cancel culture. And she's saying, I'm so over cancel culture. I probably just got canceled by saying that. I just don't understand what it means. Is there no redemption? I don't know. I don't put everybody in a Harvey Weinstein basket, Rob. That was good to see from her. She's probably politically liberal, but liberals used to be for free speech, and they certainly used to be for redemption.
Well, if you listen to Bill Maher is on the same page. He just didn't realize that the traditional liberalism hasn't changed. It's for free speech, gay rights, women's rights. Don't judge somebody by the color of their skin. What happens now, that makes you a right-wing fascist. because it doesn't go far enough now. So that is the problem. But I think with cancel culture, if you sit down one-on-one, I sat down with Bill Maher and talked to him. Besides his, he's got a little Trump syndrome thing going on, but he's a moderate. You can talk to him if you get in the room. That's why it's so important to have dialogue on campus. So instead of demonizing everybody, he said, let's talk. If you have a better idea, I'm going to adjust my opinion. The idea of a belief system. That's why the woke thing is a religion, because if you dare oppose any of it or question it, you're a heretic. And that's where the canceling comes in. I think James Lindsay does a great job talking about that. Jeffrey Tucker. But I do think if you can get one-on-one with people and have conversations again, that's what's so good about the podcasts, is that you can have a long conversation. You can come on and then you realize that we're not so far apart. But, I will say those algorithms push you in your own political echo chambers because they'll keep you there as long as you can. But I think when Americans can talk to each other, we realize, when there was that flood, that's like I say in my comedy special, when there was that flood in Houston and the boats were coming to rescue people on the rooftops, you know what they weren't saying? Are you a Democrat or Republican up there? This is the Republican boat. Sorry, the Democrat boat's coming soon. Good luck with that. It's a kayak. It's better for the environment.
No.
So.
Hey, Rob, the first guest on my radio show, and I first started hosting radio, and now I'm doing my podcast, but first guest on my radio show like 18, 19 years ago, Gavin Newsom, and then John Kerry. And I had Bono. Wow. I mean, this was a different world, right? And we had a great time. We all could talk. So that's how far things have changed. They all could talk.
He can't, I don't know how well Gavin Newsom can talk, and he will never go on. Just go, please, if anyone's watching this and wants to see Gavin Newsom at his best, watch him with Adam Carolla, and Adam destroy him for 5 minutes. Because when you really have to have ideas behind what you're doing, and Gavin Newsom has single-handedly destroyed that state with the super majority of Democrats. You don't want a one-party system. I mean, just look what happened in San Francisco and Los Angeles. You cannot defend that in any way. So I hope for people make better choices in California and vote for people. At least get two parties back. That's all I ask.
All right, Rob. As I said during the break, you're looking like Robert Evans, and you have a Robert Evans look going on. So come back anytime. It's great to have you on tonight.
All right.
All right. You take care.
All the best.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.